Welcome to Toffee TV. I am here with Sean, and this is his best ever Everton 11. And he's going to tell us why these players are in. Sean, let's go. Best ever goalkeeper.
Neville Southall.
Neville Southall. Hang on, you're about 20, if that.
25.
20, okay, you look, but your products, your facial products are excellent. Neville Southall.
Yeah, it was actually due to you guys doing your retro rewatch. I've been watching all the 80s tapes, and phenomenal. Now, it was a coin toss between him and Howard, because obviously I grew up with Howard. Yeah. Fantastic. I think it's just too soon. It's too soon.
For the way it ended.
Yeah.
For the way it ended.
But no, phenomenal keeper, and played for Shrewsbury Town, which is, I was born just outside Shrewsbury, so there's a bit of a local thing there as well, yeah.
Well, he was the best goalkeeper I've ever seen. I still think he's the best keeper to ever play the game. Not a bad start. Right back.
The capper. I made him the captain. Tony Hibbert. This is a personal thing. I mean, obviously, Evertonians love him. We love him. Whether he was the best right back or not is debatable. Obviously, the great thing about never scoring and then scored the free kick.
Yeah, it's testimonial, of course, yeah. That's
just phenomenal. I mean, I spent my entire childhood defending him, because I come from a small town where everyone likes the big teams. Okay. And when I was growing up, Everton, they gradually became up there, but they were never, top four once. So I was constantly defending most of the Everton players, and Hibbert was, you couldn't beat him. I remember a match against Manchester United, Cristiano Ronaldo, the best right mid to ever grace the Premier League probably, and Hibbert had him for lunch because he was actually playing on the left that game, and Tony Hibbert is better than Ronaldo. You heard it here first.
You heard it here. Hibbert, outstanding captain. Left back, the naughtiest left back in the world.
Leighton Baines, I honestly think between the years 2009 to like 2013, he was the best left back in the world.
Yeah.
Before you got the rise of Alba and Alaba. He's the most assists from a defender in the history of the Premier League. Fourth in the most goals in the history of the Premier League. Still fantastic now.
Yeah. It's just a bit different now, because obviously he's got a bit older. He's just not as quick, but still fabulous.
Through and through Evertonian, which that's something I've tried to keep throughout the team mostly. I love him. He's my favourite. He's my favourite player in the team now.
Yeah, he's still absolutely brilliant. Your two centre backs.
Yeah, went for sort of my childhood.
Okay.
Pairing, not always together, but. Obviously, Unsworth won the FA Cup. Got to give him that.
Yeah.
No one else has. I think I've got a fondness for him now as well, because I've obviously heard the work he's doing in the under-23s afterwards. He's stuck with Everton, and it's great.
He loves.
And he could play on the left as well. So if Baines get injured,
move across. Yeah.
Weir was obviously the captain for a while.
For a few years. Yeah.
And I really liked him as a child. Gotta say, I can't remember a huge amount about it, but I loved him as a kid. Yeah. And
he was a classy centre back. He was good on the ball, nasty as well, but no, really good defender.
Everything you need. Obviously, he went to Rangers afterwards.
Yeah, he just had a little spell up there, but he was fantastic for Everton for a while. Davey, definitely into midfield. Now I'm going to pull you up on one of these three here. Now,
Cahill.
Alan Ball. I know you didn't see Alan Ball play.
Season ticket that season.
Yeah. In your last life.
No, the guy that got me into Everton.
Yeah.
Harold. Yeah. I called him Uncle Harold. Technically he was second cousin, but he was like the age of my grandma. So.
Okay, so you came in.
He took me to my first game, 2002, Everton Tottenham, 2-2, opening game of the season. I believe.
Wayne Rooney debut.
Yeah.
Les Ferdinand. Yeah. Hitting it under Ian Wright. Wasn't Ian Wright, although ironically Ian Wright would have been better in goal than Richard Wright.
Pembridge makes the run the entire fit. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan Ball played that day.
I didn't notice him, honestly.
No.
Yeah.
It was my Uncle Harold's favourite player.
Right,
Always
yeah,
raved about him.
Yeah.
Showed me a lot of tapes, I think. And it's just great player, part of the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed I never got to see it. I suppose this is just a throwback to a greater time. And he was just obviously he's a hero of Uncle Harold's, and if it weren't for my Uncle Harold, I probably wouldn't be an Everton fan. So
and he was a big part of that, obviously. Yeah. He was. I mean, I didn't see it. I seen him play for Southampton. I never see him play for Everton, but you know, everything you hear and the things I've seen the tapes and certain videos and that, and an Evertonian through and through. His family all Blues as well. He was an unbelievable player, and of course a World Cup winner for England as well. So not bad at all. Mikel Arteta, not my favourite player, I'll be honest, but tell me why he's in your best 11.
Bearing in mind, during this period, I was younger. I was like a young teenager, so he was the flag player. He was the free kick taker. Obviously, I was a big fan of Beckham. He was Everton's Beckham.
Yeah.
It was the first football shirt name on the back of foot when he was number 6.
Yeah.
I don't know why, in case you didn't know what a 6 was.
I didn't know what number 6 was.
Love him. I still do, and obviously, I was absolutely. He was the first player I got heartbroken over leaving the club.
Okay.
That, you know what I mean?
Cut
that
you
first
deep.
one, yeah.
He cut you deep.
Thick-skinned ever since.
He was, I mean, for a time he was absolutely fantastic. Other stuff went on that I didn't really appreciate with him, but he was, for a period of time, he was an absolutely fantastic footballer.
And in the game of my life that I just did with Ped, he scored 2 free kicks for me to win 2-1. 120th
Spoiler.
minute. 120th minute.
Well, there you go.
Hopefully they watch this video first.
Yeah.
No, that
second.
video.
What's that one?
That video first.
Whatever. Now you're talking.
Absolute legend.
Love this fella.
Yeah.
Love him. Timmy.
You've got a quote. I love that.
If you can't see where Sean's pointing, it's a Kale quote that says, "I'd do anything for this team, these fans and this club. It's an honour to play for Everton." And that's how he looked at every time he stepped on the pitch. That's what it looked like.
And I value loyalty, and I feel like loyalty is only really valued if you're good enough. And that's maybe something that can be, but Kale was definitely good enough. He was a quality player. I was 5'10" and scored so many headers. The leap on him was freaky. The work rate, and he made the players around him look better as well, which is incredibly important. It was a great. I mean, it's very hard to be a great team. Like Arteta, great player and always looked good. But Cahill managed to do that while working for the team, and you can't usually do that. And that's what I loved about Cahill.
Yeah, I mean, ability-wise, Arteta much better footballer than Cahill, but who come up big in a lot of the games.
Exactly, and it's that it's that famous games. Everton phrase, which I'm going to get wrong now. It's talent, hard work will,
hard work beats talent if the talent doesn't work hard.
Exactly. And that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, he was fantastic for us. Then you've gone to a front three, sticking with the 4-3-3ish.
Yeah, I mean, but it can adjust because she can drop. Technically, those two probably should be.
Yeah.
I mean, as you can see, I've done no defence whatsoever in midfield.
No defence in midfield. That's fine, but it's an attacking lineup.
Works for Arsenal.
Got no issue. Yeah, no issue with it. Attacking flair. Left hand side, one of the best left foots I've ever seen.
Yeah,
just an unbelievable footballer, Kevin Sheedy.
Again, this is the retro football I've been watching, and it was one of those things. There's actually not been that many great left midfielders for Everton in comparison to the other positions. Obviously, my first was Stephen Pienaar. My first thought for this was Stephen Pienaar, but then I've been watching these tapes and he's just phenomenal. Yeah. Great goal scorer, great assist, great cross. Always at the back post. Great on the ball. Just him and Trevor Steven on both sides were fantastic. And Stephen only didn't get in because Arteta did. Yeah. And if Arteta didn't, Nicholas Alexanderson would have.
We'll come back to that in a minute. We'll come back to your notable, the ones who might have got in. But Kevin Sheedy, unbelievable. Dead balls were just incredible. We get free kick for us for a period of time was like a penalty with him. That's how good he was with that left foot. He'd literally put it on a 1p piece.
But unfortunately,
yards,
he's the second choice free kick taker because Baines has taken them all.
Is Baines have?
Oh no, sorry, third because Arteta's taken them, then Baines.
No. He could put a blindfold on and would hit them.
Arteta's taken right, Baines has taken left, and Sheedy's taken either or.
This is how I know he hasn't watched them live, mate, because literally you could literally put the blindfold on Sheeds and he'd still hit the target, mate, every time. He was absolutely unbelievable. Then I'm not quite sure Sharpie being out here. I think he needs to be a bit closer
like I say, it's more a 4-4-2 with Arteta on the right, Sheedy on the left.
Okay, so you've gone for Graham Sharp and Ron. First of all, Graham Sharp.
Yeah, and this was a difficult one because I was thinking I wanted another striker alongside Lukaku.
Yeah.
There's been a few. Mm-hmm. In the end, I decided to go for players who have performed more for Everton as opposed to just performed well and then been at Everton.
Okay.
Because I mean, if you're going for Everton players that have played for Everton that were world class, Paul Gascoigne, Wayne Rooney, Gary Lineker, for either of the two. Gary Lineker was obviously the one that I was considering because 40 goals.
40 goals, yeah.
Ridiculous.
30 league goals, yeah.
He's the only person to have a better games to goal ratio than Lukaku. In our history, which is in our record because
better than Dixie Dean.
Well, this is the thing, Dixie Dean. We don't know. We don't have a faithful recording of it.
Recording.
Which is a reason why I couldn't put him in my best 11. I can't. Plus, I've never seen anything of him ever.
He was just quite good.
I saw him in a wheelbarrow. I've seen him in a wheelbarrow.
I think the 85 goals he got one season might have got him to my team, but yeah.
Sharpie was there for a long time.
Yeah.
Scored an incredible amount of goals. Great long shot on him. Mm-hmm. And a hard worker, which we're going to need if we're having Lukaku in the team.
Yeah, someone to do the hold up and the little flick-ons for Ron to run off. And then obviously brings us nicely onto Romelu Lukaku.
Best striker we ever had in the Premier League. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Second best goals to game ratio in the history of Everton, not including Dixie Dean, because we're assuming.
Well, you're assuming. I'm quite comfortable with Dixie easily our best, but yeah.
And as much as we can say he's not Everton through and through, he isn't. He's a Chelsea fan. Mm-hmm. He was here longer than
4 years.
Yeah, he was here longer than Lineker.
He's been here 4 seasons, and he scored a lot of goals every year.
He's been fantastic, and I really, really like him. I don't know, just especially this season. He's been fantastic this season.
Yeah, he has. I think he's gone up, hasn't he? He's got better. Koeman has definitely got more out of him. He's the top at the time of recording. This is the top Premier League goal scorer. And if he carries on, there's 9 games to go. He's got 21 league goals.
Second and third are both injured as well, so he's probably going to win the Golden Boot.
Well, you said that a bit early, Sean. You don't say anything, but. Hopefully he can get at least another 4, and if that's 25 league goals, that'd be incredible for him. But you're right, he's easily Everton's best striker in the Premier League era, quite comfortably. And long may that continue. Let's have it a little bit more. Just before we wrap it up, there's a couple of players who you thought about putting in, who you didn't maybe.
Tim Howard,
T. Howe. Obviously, because you've grown up.
Yeah, I've grown up with him, and he's made some great saves in his time. And he was here, and second.
He's here for 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, he's had the second most appearances in Premier League appearances.
You keep throwing recorded stats in. I'm not going to argue with you in a minute.
I believe that's right.
Me and Ped will be raised. See how
I considered Jackie Alcrandistan as a pairing because there was a period, and this isn't going to be an exact statistic because I'm so rusty with it, but there was a 5-year period where the team that conceded the least over the period of 5 years with the same centre-back pairing was Chelsea with Terry and Carvalho.
Yeah.
And there was us with Jagielka and Distan. Those two together were brilliant. Individually, I don't think either of them would make our best centre-backs of all time.
But as a pair.
But as a pair, they were phenomenal. And what says a lot is Heitinga was a very good centre-back and couldn't get in.
Couldn't get near it.
Yeah.
Couldn't get near it.
And that says a lot. was also
Nicholas Alexanderson.
Nicholas Alexanderson. He was so. How I supported Everton's a crazy story, because obviously I told you about my uncle Harold.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the only reason he took me to my first game was because I said I was an Everton fan. As a kid, I'm flicking through. I come from a small town. I'm flicking through teams like nobody's business. I was a Newcastle fan. I was like, I was a Leeds fan. Like, and it was like, but we're talking like months at a time.
Yeah.
And I was very young. We're talking 7, 8. I used to get football shirts from charity shops. Like, my parents would buy me loads. I had loads, and I had one, the Danker shirt. Doesn't have Everton on it.
Right.
Anywhere written.
Okay.
So I had no idea who the team was. So I have the shirt in my drawer for years.
It's got the badge on, surely.
Yeah, it's got the badge, but I don't know. First time I see the badge comes up on television. It's an FA Cup game, Everton versus Middlesbrough. I think it was 2001. Gaza was playing.
Okay, yeah.
And watched that game. We lost, I believe. But Nicholas Alexanderson had a really good game.
2002. Did we get beat 3-0?
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah,
it was Smith's last game in charge. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nicholas Alexanderson.
Yeah, he did play that day. Yeah.
And I really liked him. Bleach blonde hair, flair player. As a kid, you loved the flair players. And then obviously in the World Cup, he scored the volley against England.
He did.
And again, I'm a sucker for free kick takers. He was a free kick taker for us that season. Correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't, like I say, that was the first game I watched by them.
He had a fight up with Pembroke overtaking him, but them two, yeah. You see, little thing about Alexanderson, I seen him for Chef Wed and really liked him. He'd always have a good game against Everton. I used to think, we need him on our right hand side, and we bought him, and I'm like, our right hand side sort of, every time he plays against us, he tears us apart. And he was just hot and cold. He wasn't. I thought he was quicker when I watched him. He wasn't fast. But he was a good footballer, but he was one of them that were like up and down.
But I was a child, and flair, and I loved him. He is the reason I support it. The reason I supported Everton at the time, and then obviously my Uncle Harold got me into it, taught me the history and stuff. And so Nicholas Alexanderson, important.
Is the reason. Do you follow him on Twitter? Have you told him that he's the reason you're a Blue Nose?
I don't think he cares.
You never ever know. Anyone else before we finish? That you missed out? No, not really.
Big Dunk.
Big Duncan.
Yeah, I liked him.
We'll shout for Dunk.
There was it's that period of like 2002, 2003 when I first got into Everton. There was a couple of players that. Yeah, Wayne Rooney came in and it was phenomenal. 2003, 2004 season, wasn't he? He doesn't get in just because he wasn't there long enough, really. And a weird one, I can't remember anything about the way he played, but he was my favourite player as a kid after Nicholas Alexanderson, was Max Moore. Can't remember anything about that, but that's the reason he didn't get in, because I can't remember anything about him. I think I liked his name.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was American.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, he was alright, Joe Max Moore. He was okay. He scored a few goals. He was decent. He worked hard. He was a hard working player.
Yeah.
But he was in not a very good Everton side, and that was the reason probably why he didn't do more. But yeah. Well, thank you very much, Sean, for a mix. It's actually a good side. I think we might struggle if we have to defend a little bit, given that we've basically just got 6 attackers in.
But remember, Tony Hibbert's going to do it all.
But Hibbert, we're an unsweat. And to be honest with you, when you've got him in goal, we could have just had 10 attackers. We don't need any defenders. Thanks very much, Sean. Appreciate that, mate. Appreciate that. If you want to be doing your best 11, do the Patsy and stuff, have a look on there. It's all on there. That's what Sean's done. Check out Sean's Game of My Life video, him versus Ped. Hopefully you'll watch it before this, because you kind of give it away, but check that out anyway. And also look out for Sean on The Final Word. If you've already watched The Final Word, you've already seen Sean. I've been Baz. We see you soon on Toffee TV.